Art the Clown is back with the Christmas spirit, and he's spreading the carnage by going on another rampage, leaving dismembered body parts under the tree. However, tortured final girl Sienna is in the slaying mood and goes mistletoe to toe with the silent slasher in Terrifier 3. Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Halloween Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Isles. That's right, Terrifier 3, written and directed by Damien Leone for his fourth time with the clown. We meet Art after the last film, Terrifier 2. With some supernatural fuckery, he puts himself back together with the help of deformed lady Victoria Hayes. Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's leprosy. He then lays dormant for 5 years, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. And wouldn't you know it, some poor demolition workers' cannon fodder wake the beast, and the new killing spree begins. This time, however, it's Christmas, and Art the Clown cosplays as Santa Claus, home invading and delivering the grossest, goriest kills in Miles County. We also check in on the last film's final girl, Sienna, who has spent the last 5 years in a psychiatric ward, and rightfully bloody so. Her uncle picks her up for the holidays, and she spends the silly season with her auntie and her little cousin who is absolutely obsessed with her, Gabby. Little brother Jonathan is now in college being all kinds of awkward, and he is somewhat of a celebrity as he and his sister are the only survivors on the killing spree from Art the Clown. Sienna struggles with the trauma after the last film's events, and she starts having visions of deceased loved ones in everyday scenarios. The film then jumps between catching up with Sienna and some scenarios that Art finds himself in. These scenarios are gruesome and gory, and absolutely stomach-churning with a bit of a Christmas twist. We also get a little expansion of the lore that our last film only hinted at. We sort of find out that Art is this sort of form of supernatural entity that is an absolute murder machine. And as the universe does, it delivers a counterbalance to him, which is actually Sienna. Somehow, Sienna's comic book artist father, played by Lost Boy Jason Patric, knew all about this all along for reasons. If you're going into a Terrifier film, you know exactly what you're going to get. Damien Leone yet again pushes the boundary with the grossest, goriest kills that any sadistic being can imagine up. And it's some of the most stomach-churning gore you've ever seen on screen, giving Saw a run for its bloody money. It's grotesque, vile, and some nightmarish imagery that you will not soon forget. Damien Leone sees the line, he crosses it, turns around, urinates on it and diarrheas on it, then goes get a leaf blower and blows it out of existence, then moves the line slightly down the track there and makes a new one smeared in blood and guts. This film has absolutely no limits, and anyone and everyone will be a victim. And I do mean everyone. It's gore porn at its most extreme. It's so funny thinking back to the 80s with the MPAA getting all up in arms with movies like Friday the 13th. Could you imagine if they saw this film now? They'd have an absolute aneurysm and their fucking head would explode. So ye be warned, do not eat anything before seeing this film. David Howard Thornton yet again delivers a hauntingly magnificent, grotesque performance sprinkled with demonic, dark humour. His eyes, mannerisms and body just conveys so much storytelling that is both horrendously horrifying and darkly hilarious. My fiancée hit the nail absolutely right on the head with her analogy of Art the Clown. She said he's pretty much the horror version of Mr. Bean. 100% accurate. This film also firmly cements Sienna as an awesome final girl. She is fantastic in the previous film, but this film absolutely solidifies it. She's vulnerable and flawed, but also turns up the badass when need be. She can honestly take her place next to Laurie Strode and Sidney Prescott. This film also is Cameo City. As aforementioned, we got Jason Patric as Sienna's deceased father. But we also get an appearance from wrestling superstar Chris Jericho, Daniel Roebuck, Clint Howard, and the immortal Tom Savini. The blood in this film, and there's a shit ton of it, is that beautiful, vibrant 70s uber red. However, the film itself, with its direction, really comes across as an awesome, gory 80s slasher. And it's also driven home more with that insanely awesome soundtrack of 80s synth.
with a few cheeky tracks from Dream Kid. I honestly didn't think we were going to get any more iconic slasher villains. I thought Ghostface was probably the last one, because it felt like that sort of era was over and the well was dry, and all the interesting villains and lore was kind of taken. But here we are with Art the Clown. It's a modern horror slasher franchise that seems to be very popular. It's now firmly wedged alongside Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Halloween films. A new gore franchise that looks like it's not slowing down anytime soon. And he's such a popular character in the horror community. Yeah, he's pretty much our modern day Freddy Krueger. And I'm glad to see it. The horror community love him, cosplayers love him, and I believe he's firmly cemented in being now iconic. Art the Clown can now firmly place himself next to Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, and Michael Myers. Well done, sir! I actually really enjoyed my time with this film. I mean, the gore is absolutely wincing and stomach-churning, and I'm not a huge fan of gore porn, I've got to be honest. However, I do find interesting the storyline of Sienna versus Art the Clown. And this film really upped the ante of the supernatural, and I'm interested to see where it goes. This film sure as hell won't be for everyone. But if you like your gross out gore galore, and some of the grossest kills you could only imagine in your absolute worst nightmares, then this film is for you. Perfect for the Halloween season. Anyway guys, that's my cheeky little review of Terrifier 3. Write down below if you've seen it, what are your thoughts on it, but more importantly, what is your favourite installment with Art the Clown? And of course, if you've made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies, and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon because I give it an episode weekly. And I'll see you back here next week for the next review, but until then, stay spooky, kids.